Nate Dog in the house. We are, yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of helping present what is going on, all the presentations that are coming here. Let's see, you got the big Zaprite flag, so I like it, and the hat too, man. That's some nice swag you got here. So, Nate, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're down here to present?
Hi, everyone. I'm here on behalf of John, the CEO and founder of Zaprite, to showcase Zaprite V2. So that's what I just demoed. I have been an advisor for Zaprite for over a year now, helping out mostly on the technical front. Been a friend of John's for a few years now. So he and I go way back, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with him, helping out on Zaprite. For the last 6 months, we've been undergoing like a full complete rewrite of the Zaprite code base.
All right, so for those who don't know or aren't familiar, what is Zaprite?
Zaprite is the easiest way to get paid in Bitcoin as a freelancer. So you can create invoices and get paid in Bitcoin non-custodially, right? So we're somewhere in between the BTC Pay Server and OpenNode. OpenNode obviously is custodial; they charge a fee. BTC Pay Server is something you have to self-host and figure out. So we're somewhere in the middle where you can just, use us, upload an address, paste an address into an invoice, ship your invoice, and get paid directly by your customer.
Okay, awesome stuff. So, all right. So, what has been the development? Because you just said you're presenting V2. So, what was V1, and then where's the improvements coming in for V2?
What a great question. V1 was a proof of concept prototype. It's worked really well. We have quite a few users, numbering in the thousands. So a lot of people have come to depend on Zaprite. It's still free to use, but it needed to be remade. Now that the concept is clear and has legs, we rewrote it from the ground up. Got a fantastic developer involved, somebody I've worked with before. He and John have been knocking it out of the park for the last 6 months, building this thing. We just dark launched to some of our power users from the V1 crowd. They've been beta testing the V2, and we're going to launch live with the new version of the website, the new web app, in the next week. So if you are a Zaprite user, just expect to go to Zaprite and see the new experience within the next week or so. All of your content, your previous invoices will all have been migrated to the new web app, and you'll be able to take advantage of the new UI, the new features. And you should expect a lot of new features coming out over the next 6 months. We have a huge roadmap. Invoices are just the tip of the iceberg. The main thing that we've done with this V2 is we've separated the invoices from the checkouts. The checkouts are the key component here. This is what's going to allow us to build payment links. That's kind of like the core of V2s, like a Stripe payment link, but for Bitcoin. You can configure a checkout where you can offer pay with Lightning, pay on chain, pay with Liquid, and many other options, and then generate these payment links, maybe for an invoice, maybe for a donation page, maybe for a storefront, maybe for ticket sales. All of these use cases are things that we're going to roll out onto Zaprite over the coming months.
Okay, awesome stuff. So what is your involvement then with Zaprite?
So as an advisor, I'm there to mostly help out with the technical side. I helped John build the V1. John ran with the boilerplate code base that I set up with him, and built a fantastic, product that a lot of people have come to depend on. And so it was time to rethink the data model from the ground up to make it more transactional and more accounting based. Because this is an app that's going to be very focused on the accounting nuts and bolts of running a Bitcoin business.
Yeah,
right.
100%. So where do you think the future of Zaprite goes in from here? Because it seems like there is somewhat of, I guess, maybe like a hurdle when it comes to running like a Bitcoin business. So what kind of things are you guys, I guess, looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, in the short term, we're going to be going after anybody who's selling things online for Bitcoin. So if you're Saifedean and you're selling your books, you create a Zaprite account, you create a small storefront for your books, and you upload an XPub from a wallet that you've configured, and boom, you've got a storefront. People can pay to new addresses, fresh addresses every time. And you could maybe integrate that to QuickBooks, which is another integration we're working on, to have all of those sales go directly to QuickBooks and maybe do inventory with QuickBooks. So that's one use case. Say you're selling tickets to a beefsteak. You want to create a quick little storefront or just a checkout for beefsteak ticket sales. Get notified by email or via Noster every time somebody buys a ticket, and have a maximum cap on ticket sales. That's the crowd we're going to be going after, like, imminently.
Yeah. So Bitcoiners essentially just selling things, items, whatever it is, tickets, some of their merchandise or books or whatever it is. Yeah. So great stuff. So what are you looking to get out of here while you're in Austin? And where are you coming from?
So I live in Austin now.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've been here for a year and a bit.
Okay.
I'm from Canada originally.
Oh,
same as John. I know. So sorry. It was terrible. We escaped the Iron Curtain back in fall of 2021.
Yeah.
Got my Canadian accent coming out now. Yeah. So I've been loving living in Austin. So has John. He's currently in Ireland visiting family. He'll be back as soon as he gets the visa sorted out, which should be imminently. And yeah, what am I hoping to get out of this week? Well, I work at Unchained Capital. I'm an engineer at Unchained. So I have been hard at work, but still trying to capture some of the events that are happening there. And attending BitDevs last night was an amazing experience, probably one of the best BitDevs we've had in a while. Witnessing the first time demo of the new Bitcoin Core GUI. Don't know if you caught that, but it's fabulous. You can run a Bitcoin Core GUI on your phone now.
Yeah, I was there, but yeah, I mean, I was at BitDevs as well, and the crazy thing about being down here in Austin, so I kind of want to dive into that a little bit as well, but and like how that experience is, building a Bitcoin company, and essentially, I think like the Bitcoin mecca, it seems like here, but back to BitDevs and just being in Austin in general. I'm from out of town, so I'm from Tampa. I grew up here though, so I'm very familiar with Austin and kind of like what it brings as a city. But the one thing that I haven't experienced is like just all the Bitcoin events that have been going on, especially this week. I mean, I feel like it's not always this busy, but it seems like I essentially could do something Bitcoin related from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single day. So there's a lot of great stuff going on here. But how do you think that being here in Austin, obviously you work at Unchained, but you're building a company on the side. How do you think like either PlebLab or some of these other spaces have helped you and your co-founders or co-workers or whatever you want to call it, Zaprite team, help you guys grow and kind of expand and get some new ideas and keep working through that? Like, how do you think Austin's helped you guys?
It's all about the people. It's all about the community, and that's what PlebLab was all about and is all about, right? It capitalized on the idea of being in the heart of the Bitcoin land, Austin, the Bitcoin capital of the world, creating a place where very knowledgeable and very hyper interested individuals can come and build on Bitcoin, talk about Bitcoin, bounce ideas off of each other, having access to, I remember when we first moved here and we're hanging out at the old PlebLab offices, and we could just walk in and talk with Super Testnet on a daily basis and just dive into some ideas, learning from those kinds of people, Topher and others. That's the real value here, is that you come to the Bitcoin capital of the world, you have the highest density of extremely intelligent, super knowledgeable Bitcoiners, and you get to see them in person. Just something intangible about that face-to-face discussion and interaction you can have with Bitcoiners. and of course the Bitcoin Commons. So we've got multiple locations where Bitcoiners can congregate, get together, share ideas. You just get so inspired when you're working alongside other people building Bitcoin businesses. You feed off each other. That's the real value of being in Austin.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, you're a Bitcoiner and you've already kind of been working at Unchained and you got, your full-time job. What's the motivation to, be an entrepreneur and kind of, expand that? Because, like we've kind of lined out, there is a lot of Bitcoin related events and like you work in Bitcoin from 9 to 5. So you get your fix in, or you could. So what was like kind of the motivation to become an entrepreneur and, start building Zaprite?
Yeah, maybe I'll give a little background on myself. I was working at a large tech company back in Montreal. In 2019, I quit. I was working for Shutterstock, and I quit to start freelancing and start building a Bitcoin business. So I was a co-founder of a company called Verify. We were selling Bitcoin online, so we were like an OTC desk. We had a nice UI, and you could buy through us, you could sell through us. And we got really close with the Bull Bitcoin team. We had a partnership with Bull Bitcoin, and eventually we merged into Bull Bitcoin. So I got to work with the Bull Bitcoin team for about a year. We rolled out some products there, such as the bitcoinsupport.com. It's a fantastic resource for helping onboarding people onto non-custodial wallets. And after moving to Austin, I got a job at Unchained and was able to get a work visa through that. Francis is the ultimate bull. I just saw the chat. Francis is
so
man.
we got some Canadians here in the chat. We got Ramel and Jordab. So I appreciate you guys coming in and listening. But I mean, I think Francis was just on the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast. I've heard great reviews about it, but it dropped. I think they streamed it Wednesday. But I haven't been able to give it a listen just yet, so I don't know that. But I mean, I've heard great things. So yeah, I mean, from what I know of Francis and from Bull Bitcoin, overall great stuff. And I mean, it seems like there's a big, kind of Bitcoin scene in Canada as well, but maybe it's a little bit more spread out. Maybe I just group all the Canadians together just because, I'm out here. So, talk about your motivation to move here to Austin, because it seems like you moved here prior to working at Unchained Capital. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. If there's a Bitcoin capital of America, it's most definitely Austin. And if there's a Bitcoin capital of Canada, it's most definitely Montreal. And that's where I was. I remember when Francis and the crew back in 2013 founded the Bitcoin Embassy. It was the first brick and mortar location, I believe, in the world where you could go and learn about, buy Bitcoin. It was the location of one of the first, if not the first, Bitcoin ATM. That information is a little rough, but it's like, we're talking OG stuff going on in Montreal back in the day. And the community there is quite large. The Bitcoin meetups that run there are really well attended. So I moved from Canada because first off, Bull Bitcoin was doing a meetup, a company get together in Austin. So that was my opportunity to come down here. It also coincided with some of the more draconian policies that Canada was putting in place. So I wanted to escape those. I believe that might be John. Hi, John.
Shout out, John.
Shout out, John.
But do you know if the embassy is still there?
No,
okay.
It is not there anymore.
Okay. RIP the Bitcoin Embassy in Montreal. But I mean, still great stuff going on. I mean, I hear about all the meetups. I hear about all the great things going on in Canada. The Canadian Bitcoin Conference. I think I'm going to try to make an effort to get out there in Toronto too this year. So
cool.
I haven't been to Canada in, I don't know, in a very long time. So man, looking forward to it. So what are your plans for the rest of the week? So you obviously had your presentation now. Are you going to be participating in the hackathon tomorrow? And do you have any other, presentations or big plans while you're in Austin? Or I guess you live here, so it's most people that are the first guy that I talked to is just visiting. But you have access to all this stuff all the time. So do you have any other big plans, I guess, for the rest of the week that would be any different than what you normally do?
Sure. Yeah. And just before I answer that question, I want to just shout out the Bull Bitcoin engineering team that I got to work with. Like the guys behind the open source project CipherNode are just absolute legends. Notably Keksky, the guy who basically wrote the lead author of CipherNode, which is a tool to run a Bitcoin node with all sorts of auxiliary services attached to it, such as you could run like a Wasabi wallet alongside your Bitcoin node, an exchange, and all sorts of things. It's basically what powers full Bitcoin in the back end, and it's this amazing open source project. So just want to shout that out. Anybody who doesn't know about CipherNode, definitely check that out. If you're thinking of running a Bitcoin business yourself, it might be something you want to use. So your question about this week, yeah. Well, right after this, I'm going to go to work. Definitely got a lot on my plate today. I'm actually catching some professional disc golf this weekend. And judging the hackathon. So not participating, but I'll be one of the judges on the panel on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm a huge disc golfer, and it's just like this hackathon this week coincides with a new PDGA tour stop here in Austin for the first time. So this afternoon, I'm going to go catch some of the like world's best disc golfers.
Yeah, go bang chains, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome stuff, and it's a little cold and windy today, though, so it's going to be
is.
rough conditions for those disc golfers, man. That's
Poor
tough.
guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That I mean, and from what I know, like Austin's a great place for disc golf too. So you got it all, man. You got the Bitcoin mecca, and then you got the disc golf maybe capital of the U.S. too here. So
yeah, best place in the world.
Yeah.
Don't listen out. You got to come down here. It's if you're thinking of coming to Austin, don't think. Just come check it out. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. So, on this note, like, what is the roadmap, I guess, for the rest of the year for Zaprite? And do you guys have like, I don't know, a way to maybe some users? Do you get like user feedback from all these like the V2? Obviously, you're rolling out the beta, so I imagine you guys are kind of discussing with some of the users that way. But for V3, do you guys have like an idea of where you kind of want to take it?
Yeah, so there's no V3. This is just V2 is going to be like the new platform for Zaprite for the foreseeable future. There's no plans for a V3. We don't need to rewrite again.
Okay.
The platform that we're on now is going to allow for an amazing roadmap over the next 6 months. We're talking, upload an Xpub in order to never have to, configure addresses on every invoice. We're going to roll out donation pages, storefront, ticket sales, payment links, teams, recurring invoices for customers that you have a recurring bill to send to.
Model or something.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a subscription model to monetize Zaprite. So a lot of these features will be part of the paid tier. Right now, Zaprite is still free, and it will remain free with a free tier for the foreseeable future. So get on that. If you're looking for a way to easily get paid with Bitcoin, check out Zaprite. And with that, I should run to work.
Yeah. All right. Well, before you leave and run to work, where can they find out more about Zaprite and like find some more information about that and you?
Zaprite.com is the place to find out about Zaprite. Zaprite is also on Twitter. I also have a Twitter that you could follow. It is NK1TZ. Maybe we can type it in the chat because it's a really annoying little NK1TZ. Yeah, there you go. So that's my Twitter. I'm also on Nostr. My Nostr NPub is on my Twitter profile. So
all right, there we go. Yeah. So give John a follow. Check out Zaprite. Zaprite's also in
I'm Nate. John is in Ireland.
I'm sorry. Check out Nate. And then we got John in the chat too at Zaprite, so you guys could go follow their YouTube as well. So awesome stuff, man. Thanks for giving me some of your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have fun seeing those chains being banged today. Yeah.
Let's go, Zaprite.
There we go. Can people go buy that flag too if they want it?
Oh, great question. Swag store soon.
All right. Swag store coming soon. All right. Go check out Nate Dogg and Zaprite. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.